Welcome to Lesson 3, the Define Step. In this lesson, we will explore the importance of coming up with what we call a project charter. The project charter explores the importance of understanding why we're doing this development. In addition, we also would like to go into what we call a product roadmap, which would allow us to focus on our efforts during our development phase. In this lesson, we'll talk about the following topics. We'll talk about the first step in the demand V, which is the define step, followed by a discussion on the idea of the project charter and why it's important. And then finally, we'll talk about the importance of a product roadmap, which helps the effort of the development team to focus on what they need to achieve. In order to start a development initiative, we start with a define step under the demand V. The define step talks about clarifying and describing the purpose of the product development effort. It highlights the value to the business and the benefit to the customer. It's important for the development team to understand and communicate the value and impact of the development to the business, especially on the perspective of the top line and the bottom line. The major elements of the define step are as basic as any project management that you need to do. You start by developing the business case, which is the why of the development team's effort, what is the scope of the project that they wanted to pursue, and how they wish to be able to manage it. A product development initiative is just like any other project that requires clarity and guidance from management. It requires a project charter that describes what are the key things that the team had to accomplish, what are the important benefits that they need to keep in mind. The charter contains the agreement and the expectation of the business and the customer from the development team. By having a charter, the team is able to clarify and document the reasons why they're doing the project, define and understand the objectives and the limitations of what they can do, and making sure that they are clear as to who are the critical stakeholders of this particular project. A typical project charter describes the who, the what, the why, when, where, and how of the project. It covers the basic demographics of the team, highlighting the impact of the business to the business, what are the specific deliverables or the output of the project, and how do you measure the success when the project is completed. The business case of your project charter describes the reason why such an initiative from your product development team would be critical. What's important? What are the consequences if you're not able to come up with that design or that product? How does your effort in the development team fit the strategy and the goals of the business? It is important for the development team to understand the scope in which they would have to put effort in their development and the specific deliverable that is expected from the team in their building a product roadmap is a very important tool that can help the product development team scope and define or narrow down where or what they need to focus on. An example of coming up with a product generation plan would be to identify what are the specific visions or descriptions of the product that they wish to build over a series of a generation, or what we call releases. These releases or generations would depend on the kind of technology, platform, or capability that they would need in order to be able to deliver such products in the future. Let's take the case of SpaceX of Elon Musk. He has this mission of actually going out and explore space. Talk about being able to see a vision far, far away of being an interplanetary species. To make this happen, it is quite important to have a vision of how you would be able to achieve the goal or the vision that you wish to provide for your product. In the case of Elon Musk, it talks about reusable rockets, putting a manned person in space, going to the International Space Station, and eventually being a multi-planetary humanity where you now go to other planets. The benefits of coming up with the product generation plan helps the design team or your product development team manage their effort, their energy in focusing on what they need to do. Since the future has been considered, the team will not be making decisions or expanding the scope of their development efforts by not making those choices right now. And as the team progresses, new ideas may come which they can put as part of the future generation rather than simply expanding their effort today. The organization can also have the time to leverage and develop the needed capacity, technology, and capability of its organization to be able to support the product that they wish to have in the next generation. Key learnings in Lesson 3 are as follows. A charter helps the development team clarify its intention for the business. By having a defined step, you are able to clearly identify the opportunity and align the effort of the team with the customer and the business. And finally, having a product roadmap will help the team focus on prioritizing their effort and resources on what should be done today.